I drank whiskey every single day for the past month, and it turned me into a raving lunatic.
Jonny Rex
grabbed a steel dolly and smashed in a bus window at Barclays Center in Brooklyn on Thursday afternoon, injuring
fans of the keto diet.
Now all hell is breaking loose.
No, seriously, 30 days, every single day, I drank whiskey. Day 2 of 40 whiskeys in 30 days, I have a lovely Singleton single malt Scotch, 12 years aged. Yeah, this is actually good whiskey for sipping. Would recommend. 2 lovely whiskeys. I have the Johnny Walker Red Label, and I have the Johnny Walker Black Label. We have Special Old. This stuff is probably terrible, so... yeah, that stuff is not good. And guess what? Nothing happened. I mean, I lost almost 5 pounds, but other than that, nothing really happened. Similar to how the reason why people on the keto diet lose weight isn't because they're on the keto diet, or the reason why people drink apple cider vinegar every morning lose weight is not because they're drinking apple cider vinegar every morning. But the fact that I lost 5 pounds has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that I drank whiskey every day. But yeah, more on that later. But before we go any further, if you want to see more crazy good fitness videos like this, make sure to subscribe to my channel down on whatever, you know, I don't know how that works, but just do it. Hey, guys, girls, if you like whiskey, I'm just going to apologize in advance because I don't know anything about whiskey. I don't know anything about the nose and the finish and the whatever else is in there. All I know is if I like the whiskey or I don't like the whiskey. So I pretty much just, for anybody who's interested, I rank the whiskeys with either a thumbs up, a thumbs middle, or a thumbs down. I don't really have anything else to talk about out here. I just wanted to show you that I'm a rugged outdoorsman who wears pink and has a husky dog. And, you know, that's appealing, right? Working on getting those YouTube views, getting that clout. So yeah, anyway, let's go back to my whiskey den. And we're back. As you can see, I have my whiskey on the shelf behind me. So let's talk whiskey. Not anything actually about whiskey, but about the whiskey that I drank. Whiskey stats, coming at you. Throughout the 30 days, 1 month, I drank 19 different types of whiskeys. Here's my rankings of those whiskeys based on the fact that I know nothing about whiskey. As you can clearly see, I have no clue what I'm talking about. In terms of whiskey, I know what I'm talking about when it comes to fitness, I think. So anyway, I drank a total of 40 servings of whiskey throughout the month. A serving of whiskey is 1.5 ounces or roughly 40 milliliters. This is about the size of a shot glass. Most of the time I enjoyed my whiskey just with a little bit of ice, although I did mix it with Diet Coke once or twice. Hey, that rhymed. So here's the spreadsheet I used to keep track of all the whiskeys I drank throughout the last month and when I drank them. As you can see, I drank either 1 or 2 whiskeys on pretty much every day, with the exception of the last day where I drank 3 because I needed to hit that 40. Hey, so sorry about the angle change. It turns out that the shelf I had my camera setting on just fell off the wall. Now the camera's setting on my desk, so hopefully that doesn't fall through the floor. Also, I decided to take my shirt off because I figured I need to appease the YouTube algorithm and keep you watching just a little bit longer. And we are over 3 minutes. Perfect. So why did I do this? Why did I decide that I wanted to drink whiskey every single day for a month? Lots of people claim that they know the secret to weight loss. That it's just one weird food that you're not eating that'll cause you to shred off all that body fat, or that it's some food that you are eating that's preventing your body from burning fat for some reason. When you put notions like that to the test, you see that they're completely wrong. There has never been a food discovered that prevents you from losing body fat or prevents you from being healthy simply by eating this food. Likewise, there has never been a food discovered yet that burns body fat simply by eating that food. Any ad you see that tells you this is lying to you 100%. Why I really did this is I'm here to show you that it's okay to enjoy things. It's okay to have things in your diet that you like. You don't need to make your diet so restrictive. The problem with trying to only include foods in your diet that are hyper healthy and super good for you is that, number one, it's not realistic to do that long term. You're basically setting yourself up for failure. You're telling yourself that if you're not able to achieve this arbitrary standard that, let's get it right, it's just that, an arbitrary standard, that you've failed. So like, okay, I can't eat processed foods at all. I'm cutting them out entirely. So it's like, okay, if I have a processed food, does that mean I've failed my diet? What is considered a processed food? There's different levels of processing, right? Is bread a processed food? Are canned goods processed food? Is something that's frozen considered a processed food? Is anything that's not like a raw ingredient considered a processed food? It doesn't make any logical or theoretical sense, and it's not actually healthy. Because in actuality, what you're doing is you're cutting out a ton of foods that potentially are actually going to really help you achieve whatever fitness goal you're trying to do, just because they're not perfect or they don't fit this arbitrary standard that you're following. In fact, I would argue that it is much better for long-term adherence to consume a variety of foods, including foods that are not healthy. Stop creating these arbitrary rules and drawing these black and white lines about what you can and can't eat. What you can eat is everything. What you can't eat is things that are inedible to humans. Everything that matters from that point on, it becomes a gray area, it becomes a gradient, and it becomes a matter of the quantity you're consuming. Case in point, let's talk about quantity of alcohol consumption. Throughout this 30 days, I said I drank 1 to 2 drinks per day. This was considered moderate consumption. There has been a ton of research done on the appropriate levels of alcohol intake for health. Some research shows that there's a slight positive benefit of regular alcohol consumption. Other research shows that there's no benefit of alcohol consumption versus abstaining from alcohol. Basically, all research shows that high levels of alcohol consumption does have negative health effects. However, moderate levels of alcohol consumption have been shown consistently to have either zero or a slight positive benefit to your health and mortality rates. That is, if you think that you're going to make your diet significantly healthier by cutting out all alcohol when you currently only consume a moderate amount, you're fooling yourself. It's very unlikely that's going to have any discernible effect. There's even been a lot of research on whether or not alcohol consumption impacts your exercise performance. And the fact of the matter is, if you are consuming at this rate 1 to 2 drinks a day or only occasionally, it has no discernible effect on muscle hypertrophy, training outcomes, training performance, etc., so on and so forth. Am I telling you to drink unlimited quantities of whiskey and unlimited amounts of alcohol? Of course not. It should be apparent from the last 7 or 8 minutes that that's not the case. If you are consuming large quantities of alcohol, if you are consuming above this moderate intake level of 1 to 2 drinks per day regularly, or if you are binge drinking frequently, I really need to say at this point, you should get help. Seek help from a qualified professional. This is not me advocating you to drink unlimited whiskey. This is me advocating you intelligent, controlled consumption of something that's not a big deal if you do so. But if you need the help, I am not offering you medical advice. If you need the help, you need to seek out a proper professional if you have a high consumption level of alcohol, because that, my friends, is most assuredly from the evidence not healthy and will increase your mortality risk. Oh yeah, I should probably talk about my training. I have a super secret special training program that I was doing. You know what it was? It was 4 days a week lifting weights, doing basic exercises. Squats, benches, deadlifts, push-ups, pull-ups, curls. Yeah. Oh, by the way, if you do want a custom program, drop me a message, I'll get you one. But it's not very complex, man. You don't need to overcomplicate these things. Think simple. The clients that I've had that have the most success, and when I have the most success, is when I simplify my program to the easiest and most bite-sized chunks possible. Don't overcomplicate it, and don't create things that you think are too daunting where you're like, there's no way I'm going to be able to stick to that. Because you probably won't. I think piling on all of these things and making it like they are way more important than they actually are, that's a problem. And I want to cut through those, and I want to make it simple and easy for you. So at the end of the day, what is the secret to fat loss? We're finally here. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to blow the lid off it. This is the industry secret. This is the one weird trick that nobody wants you to know. It's calorie deficit. That's it. You create a deficit in the number of calories that you're eating. You consume less calories than your body burns. There you go. Listen, I know in reality it's not that simple. For a lot of people, losing weight is a real struggle. We can simplify it down to calorie deficit, but at the end of the day, there's so many social, economic, environmental, and other factors that go into what affects people's ability to lose weight. Personal trainers, the fitness profession, and weight loss would not exist if this was easy and it just was as easy as telling people to create a calorie deficit. But like, it's not ketosis. It's not the one weird food that you need to eat. It's not that you having a cookie is going to make you gain 20 pounds. Yes, it's true. If you are eating too many carbohydrates from processed food sources, that makes it harder and harder to create a calorie deficit. But at the end of the day, calorie deficit is the choke point, not ketosis, not whether or not you're drinking apple cider vinegar, not whether or not you're abstaining from alcohol, not whether or not you're consuming a diet that's only vegetables. Those are not the keys to weight loss. Those are wastes of time and energy that could be better used and better utilized figuring out exactly how many calories you need to eat to lose weight, figuring out the habit portion of it, which is super, super important, by the way. Like, if you want to know the real secret outside of calorie deficit, it's really just consistency, habits, and adherence. Why does keto work for losing weight? Because people stick to it. Why does a vegetarian diet work for losing weight? Because people stick to it and it creates a calorie deficit. That's the answer. And if you're creating an unrealistic standard that you can't stick to, there's the problem. It would be really easy for me to be like, hey, I drank whiskey and I lost weight. Buy my whiskey diet. Just like it's really easy to say, oh, I did keto and I lost weight. Buy my keto diet. That's not what is creating the weight loss. The consumption of the whiskey, the keto-ness of your diet, the ketones are not what's making you lose weight. It's the calorie deficit, and it would be deceitful of me to try and sell it to you any other way. The secret to weight loss is committing to something and adhering to it. That's the real secret. And people don't want to hear it. I get it, because it's not sexy. It's not marketable, as marketable as buy this diet book that will give you all the answers. But the fact of the matter is, we don't have all the answers to what causes each person's individual struggle with weight loss. You have the answers inside of yourself. And when you can create a positive and realistic dialogue with your own self and be honest with yourself on exactly what it is you're doing and exactly where you're having struggles and trouble, that's when you can move forward and you can decide to make it happen and you can live a healthier lifestyle. I'm so happy if you've made it this far in the video, because I really appreciate you watching this video. I really want to get my message out further. Like and share this video. Send it to your friends. Send it to your family members. Tag your brother in it. Tag the whiskey drinking friend. Share it on Whiskey Reddit if that's a thing. I really appreciate this. I am going to sign out right now. I'm done talking about whiskey. I lost 5 pounds just about drinking whiskey, and you know what? It wasn't because of the whiskey. Final note. Thanks for watching. Peace out.